Ahlan wa sahlan bikum, my friends, and welcome back to Sahtein and my kitchen and our Muajannat adventure. I'm gonna show you how I make Sfeeha Spinach. Sfeeha Spinach, spinach pies. Made in many different ways across different cultures. Sfeeha Spinach is an iconic savory pie in Palestinian cuisine and Arabic cuisine. Perfect packed lunch snack. You make a bunch of them and then you can save them and freeze them and reheat them. They are just so good and have so much spinach in them, so they're very good for you. The first thing you need to do is make the dough. I have made this very dough in a previous video. If you haven't watched that yet, please click the link in the description or click the link up there to learn how I make this very simple, very versatile dough recipe with which you can make endless things, truly. So once you've done that and you've come back to me, we can begin working on this. So if you were making the dough at the same time, then you would make this filling while this dough was rising. So let's imagine that the dough is rising and we have time to kill. So let's make our spinach filling. I am going to start by heating up a skillet and sauteing this spinach down until it reduces to nothing. Our little pot here, big pot, we're gonna put some grapeseed oil in there. I'm using grapeseed oil to cook with. Grapeseed oil, sunflower oil, all good. Canola oil, vegetable oil, not good. Use something pure. Once that heats up a little bit, we can put the spinach in. We have a metric huge amount of spinach. We're going to saute it down. It's all gonna disappear. Wow. I love spinach. So we're gonna put all this in here. A little more oil on top of it so that it's evenly coated. Good amount of salt. Break it down. Remember, this is gonna reduce down for a lot of pies, so it's okay that we're using this much salt. You just wanna... So I'm using baby spinach that's been washed already. I just wanna stir this through. We're just gonna give this the few minutes it needs to completely reduce down, then we'll add more things to it. I don't know why I'm dabbing a lot today. It's because I'm spending too much time on TikTok. There's this dance they do, it's like called the renegade dance.
Oh, I've seen that. Kez and I were trying to learn it.
I want to learn it! Renegade.
You know it. I don't understand these like weird arm movements.
Breaking down, doing its thing. Just keep stirring it so that you don't burn any. It's basically cooked down entirely. I have pre-crushed a bunch of cloves of garlic with some salt and olive oil. 4 cloves worth of garlic straight to this. Because this is going to be stuffed into a pie, we want to make sure as much liquid as possible has left the spinach, and we want to give it some time to cool down as well so that it doesn't just melt the dough. Turn off the heat. And we're going to transfer it to a bowl. I am going to leave some of the liquid out and save it. That's really good stuff. We can use that for something else, but we really don't want this to be too wet, otherwise it's going to not cook properly. It's also gonna squeeze some of this liquid and drain it back into here. So now this is here. It's very hot. I'm gonna spread it around a bit so that it can start to cool down. And then we're gonna add a few things. We're gonna add now our extra virgin olive oil, a couple tablespoons of that, just a pinch of 7 spice. This is the 7 spice mix that my grandmother made. And there's many different types and many different cultures have different kinds. You wanna get a nice 7 spice mix that is to your liking. If you don't have that, just add some black pepper and white pepper and cumin and a little bit of cinnamon, just mixed together. Or just add some black pepper. It's still gonna be really delicious. And I'm also adding some sumac. Sumac is this lovely crushed berry situation. It's very citrusy, it's very tangy. It adds a really nice kind of acidity to whatever you use it in, and it's really good with spinach. Mix this all together. I think for me, the beauty of this particular pie is the simplicity of the filling. You add a couple spices and things, you have some garlic, but it's really very spinach heavy. And so the pies end up just being really comforting and really filling and satisfying as well. I'm gonna give it just a few minutes to cool down. The longer you give it, the better. because you really don't want to be working with a super hot filling when you're making these. If it's too hot or too liquidy, the dough on the bottom is not going to bake correctly and it's not going to hold itself in, or it's going to steam out and then open the top of the pie. Once we've got our filling ready, we've got our dough ready, we can make some pies. There's other ways that you can fold this for sure. Let me show you how I do it. We're gonna roll it out. Kind of as big as it'll go, the piece we've got. And now if you still got liquid in the bottom of your bowl, that's fine. Just take the pieces from the top that aren't soaked in water. Get a nice little chunk of spinach on this. Just pick 3 corners to be your 3 sides. Just pick them, you know, whatever feels good to you. Doesn't have to, it's not gonna be a triangle shape. You're just gonna pick 3 corners and bring them all together. They're coming together for a play date. And then you pinch down the sides very firmly, making sure there are no air pockets inside the pie. That's very important. Inside the pie, there is nothing but filling. Just have a little friend, just like that. If you overfill it, this is where these could possibly open, but you want to really tighten them so that they come out looking nice and pretty. When you're doing this, be sure to just keep it all in the center, because if it gets really oily around the sides, you're gonna have some trouble sticking it together. And if you end up having them a little too long on the top, you can just fold it on top of itself, make it look kind of pretty. See how I'm getting all the air bubbles out? Yep, see? You had a little bit of oil on this one that came out. That's okay, it's still gonna work great. Ta-da! I've done these where I've added a little bit of cheese, like feta cheese to them. That's also really nice. They can also be nice if you want to saute some onions and put that with the spinach. These are good. Let's put them in the oven at 400 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes max until they've turned a nice golden color. Okay, it's time. Let's check on the spinach pies. Okay, so you can see a couple of these opened up, that's what happens when there's a lot of steam inside, but all good, super beautiful, super delish. Let's check the bottom to make sure they're nice and golden. Perfect. That's perfect. These are my all-time favorite. When I'm in Jordan, we get these, well, my family makes them, but we also like to order them from the Palestinian Cultural Center because they make them really small and delicate and just, there's something about the way they do it that I don't understand, that I don't need to understand. I will never, and that's okay. When I get them in Jordan, I just eat like 12 of these at once. Oh, I just thought of something. If you don't have sumat, you can add a little bit of lemon juice to the filling, and that will give you the acidity that you want. Just a bit. Ugh, they smell so good. See how the bottom is nice and fully cooked and crispy? Let's do a fancy cross section because we can. How about it? Oh, so nice. Look at that crispy bottom. That's a pretty sexy cross section. Yeah, that's really good. I'm very excited to share this with you, and I'm very excited to see you making something wonderful yourself and being creative and just taking this dough and running with it. It's fluffy, it's crispy, so good. If there are any recipes you would like me to show you or anything related to food that you would like talked about, please, I would love your suggestions and I will take them to heart and I appreciate them very much. There will be more things. If you want to see more things, you can subscribe to see my face. You can also hit the notification bell and you will be notified when I put new videos up, which is very helpful for me and also very helpful for you. You don't miss anything. Until next time, thank you very much and Sahtein. Let's hang out. Let's chill. Let's hang. Oh, Caitlin, they're really good. You should have one.